Hello Cancers, welcome to your July monthly reading. I'm going to use one deck in this reading to look back at June. We're going to reflect back and see if you had more positive thinking last month. Also see if you worked on kind of settling your emotional center. There was struggles with emotions. I'm going to use these cards and the charms to do July. So if you're not someone who likes to watch the process, I've time-stamped below, so you can just jump ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to get started here. So I'm just going to adjust the cards out of the way so I can shuffle. So we're going to look back at June. Like I said, we talked about your emotions and kind of what was going on with you and sort of the need to settle those. And also just sort of you're struggling with like critical thinking, just less positive thinking. You weren't really in a positive mindset there last month. Okay. So I'll just put these aside. I'm doing 3 for the month back. I'm going to do 4 for the month ahead. Gives us a nice little 7. Because we're doubling up on cards, we got 7, 7, and then the month of July is 7. So we got 777 here that I've noticed the angels playing with. So definitely an overall message of good luck that's going to this group of signs at least. So let's see, who was Virgo, Cancer, and Leos. So Virgos and Leos as well as yourselves. Sort of this message of good luck. So let's dive in here and get our 4 cards for the month ahead, the month of July. And then we'll layer on our charms, putting those ones aside. Just push these over a little bit so I know everything's on camera for you. Okay. So let's get some added clarity through the use of 2 cards and some charms. So there might be motivation, preparedness messages, encouragement messages, watch outs. We'll see what July, what awaits for you here in July. I'm just holding because I know they're trying to discard here. Okay. Oop. I was too eager to get into your reading here. So let's see what charms they provide for the month of July. Let's see what's going on, Cancer. Ooh. Quite a bit of messaging, a lot of movement too. They're quite excited to get the charms out of my hands here. Okay, might be falling off the back side here. I'll try to turn just so it's on camera. I believe there's one more coming. And there we go. I was thinking I had to move my thumb out of the way, but made its way out finally. Okay, I'm just gonna tune in. Interesting, we've got a juxtaposition here of calmness with the circus, with the heart. So I'm wondering if you're battling between maybe decisions of, do I do something more, like if there's a vacation coming up, right? Do I do something more relaxing or something more active, more engaging? Oh, you might have some family or friend drama going on. Need for strength and bravery. There's some chillness here. Okay. That's an interesting combo as well. All right. So before we get into July, let's take a look back at June. So those of you under the Cancer sign, we were talking about you needed to have more positive thinking. We saw a lot of kind of self-critical thinking or, judgmental thinking. and sort of encouragement to think better and watch your words and use positive words. But we also talked about sort of emotional center, your emotion center, and sort of how you were rocky in that area too. So let's see if you kind of worked on everything. Well, these two cards are exactly like Virgo. They also had the yes message. Yes, you conquered it. Yes, you worked on it. So congratulations to Cancer. You were like your fellow Virgos here. I guess that's why I'm reading you three signs together. I won't be surprised if I get the yes card for Leo. So yes, your angels are celebrating success here. Way to go, Cancers. You tackled your June. Ease and grace. You just took it in stride here, right? Working on your emotional center. It's focused here on the head, so you were aware of what emotions you were sitting in and maybe why, and you got closure, or you sought some answers, some introspective, just even the way he's sitting. Maybe you took up some kind of activity that brings you calmness as well. It could be meditation or getting out in nature, right? He's got his toe here. He's grounded. Something that helped you get more grounded. And then your guardian angel came out as well, kind of reflecting back on June. So I don't know if you had more conversations with them, if you started to connect in with your belief system a little more, or your intuition. But it feels like you had more conversation, maybe even in the dreamscape here, or like I said, just in your mind and your heart, right? Maybe as you were working through your emotions here, maybe you had conversations with your angel there. And conversations are, even with your soul self, right? I wish I can do this, or even I'm glad that I was able to reflect back and do that. Sort of having that conversation there. So I like to see that such positive messaging here coming out of June. Let's step forward here into July, and let's see what's on deck for those of you in the Cancer sign. I'm going to start here. I see this closure here, this ending and new beginning. It could also be starting of finding your voice. I'm seeing the mouth here is kind of opening for me. So if it's not a new beginning that you feel you're starting out on here in July, I feel like you're definitely starting to find your voice, maybe starting to really lean into who you are and being comfortable with who you are. Again, we did see that critical thinking, negative thinking that you worked on in June. So again, the closure and the new beginning could just be your relationship with self here, your emotional relationship with self. As they pull me into the love, the balance, the yin, the yang, the black, the white coming together, the two halves, so that you feel wholeness. That could have physically happened with you. You could have brought something into your life that completed you. Or, like I said, just work on your emotions. There's this sense of completion. You feel complete, you're happy, you're content, right? The grace and ease here. And then we have the lion. He's walking. I like to say strut. I always feel like it's a proud strut. That confident walking into the room. You're entering social settings with confidence. You're probably waking up with better energy, a better mood, a better mindset, better outlook for the day as well. So I really like this for July here. Okay. So I like how this reminds me of the children's game, right? Where you each take turns and you put your hands on top. I think it was the baseball bat, to see either which team was up to bat first, or at least that's how we made the decisions in the playground. So I don't know if you're going to be doing a similar thing here in July, where you're going to have some kind of like partner, or a friend base, a team, right? Where they're going to help you in making a decision here. You don't have to make this decision on your own. You have your intuition, your guardian angel, but then you have your help here, right? We have kind of a lion's face again, we have the wildcat face here, the crown, the king. So I guess it is a lion. So, you know, here's your lion, here's your confidant, your friends. I mean, it could be your guardian angel because it's intuition. So it could be your courage and your intuition coming together to make this decision. But I feel like you have a support system here. You know, the mountains here are also kind of holding you up and lifting you up here. So maybe it's a pretty major decision, because she leads with her heart here in this card, right? She follows her sixth sense, her guiding star. She's putting herself first as well. And maybe that's the major decision, something that's connected to, well, in this scenario, it's me putting myself first. So what do I do? There's some kind of major growth opportunity that's going to help you bring this balance, right? It's going to further support your self-identity, your true sense of purpose, true sense of self, your needs, your voice. But I like this partnership, this buddy that you have to help you make that decision. You're not doing this on your own in July. I'm most curious over here. So let's come next door here. I'm curious because in my intro, if you skipped it, I did say that this is sort of a side-by-side of calmness, quietness, and then sort of chaos, hyperactivity, right? Entertainment, loud. I don't know if July is going to be a perfectly balanced month of both, right? Getting out and having entertainment, having good times, but also those quiet moments at home, at the beach, at the camp, you know, getting good sleep even. You know, being active all day is leading to better sleep, but there's like this beautiful balance. There's a lot of balance here in your cards for July. And then we have something new here. Something new is going to get ignited, a new passion. You know, maybe you'll come across I don't know, maybe there's a new sport or new trend out there. I think a few years ago it was pickleball that took off in the summer. You know, maybe something you'll get introduced to. This is something new, either a person or a thing or an activity. You get introduced to it. Could be one of these venues, right? Maybe something, a band or something, a new music, a new place. But there's something that you're being introduced to here in July that's going to speak to your heart here. It's going to be a new interest, a new passion, a new activity. Oh, look at that. We have the birth, right? The newness here. Even with the leaves, right? They're just starting here. The wings are new, the courage. There's a lot of sense of new here, new growth. Maybe you're welcoming something new, like literally. Some of you in Cancer sign, maybe July is the time that you've welcomed in this new family member, and maybe that's why you have a perfect blend of a little bit of chaos and the quietness. You know, the blossoming of the heart. Something new that you've been introduced to here. I like how it kept spinning around. You know, maybe it takes you by surprise so much so that you're in a bit of a whirlwind, or you feel like that. Okay. I'll come up here next. For whatever reason, I'm going counterclockwise here for you guys. So we have a milestone, but they're drawing me into the scroll. So if it's a milestone, but the scroll, so there's information, news, a report that you'll come across, even if it's just in the news, right? Maybe it's not something you directly receive, but something you read or come across. But it's going to trigger some kind of milestone moment with you. So either it's going to happen on a day that's important to you in July that has some kind of significance, and it happens on that day, or I'm pausing because they're really pulling me into the word day here. Significant day, a significant day. So for Cancer, there's going to be like a turning point day here for you in July. Some kind of turning point, significant day in July. So winter is coming. This is my charm for preparedness. You know, the angels here, your soul's energy, are taking the July reading as an opportunity to prepare you for this milestone day, this milestone moment. This could be something you're already aware of, right? It could be the first day of something for you. It could be the day X is happening. It could be a birthday, an anniversary, a holiday, those kind of annual holidays, those kind of dates that are significant to you. But they need you to be prepared for it. Like there's this extra preparedness here that they want you to be for it. I don't know if it's because of family. I was seeing family drama here right when the charms fell, because it's courage to kind of be against the norm. You know, maybe you feel like, you know, maybe there's this upcoming gathering, right? I talked about maybe a birthday, so I'll lean into birthday. So maybe there's a birthday or a key date here, day in July. There's going to be family. You don't kind of fit in, or you feel like you don't really fit in with this crowd or this part of the family. So you're embracing your courage here to just, you know, just stand out. Just kind of go with the flow, stand out. It's fine. I choose strength again. You know, biting of the tongue. You know, maybe this is a group of people that, or just one person, you know, their opinions you disagree with, or, you know, maybe how they act. But there's definitely a family connection, or they feel like family to you, right? We have a lot of close friends, obviously our partners and their family, so in-laws, cousins. This is legacy, so it could just be extended family members. You know, there's a lot of sitcoms and movies that kind of lean into that odd uncle or the crazy granny, right? There's some kind of preparedness that you're going to be, you know, interacting and spending the day here with sort of this person or this group. My spinning planet, my Saturn, this is control and chaos. So this could be them saying just control your emotions in chaos, right? There's a lot of bravery. There's a, you know, 4 or 5 charms here right now. So maybe this is just someone you really do not get along with in your family, and you got to bite your tongue and just kind of push through that moment, that day. You know, the yarn here, this is the power of manifestation. This is positive affirmations. You've kind of turned it off. So you're not speaking negatively, but you're definitely not speaking positively or thinking positively about this person, situation, family member. You've turned that off for now, or at least in this moment here. So I am getting sort of that lineage again that I get off my samurai sword. Like this passing down. I don't know if it's a family reunion, Cancers, that are in your books. Could be a wedding or funeral, unfortunately, with the flower here as they draw me into the flower, maybe flowers or some kind of outdoor environment is significant to you in July. They're bringing me to the snail here, the slug, and kind of how they move slowly. You know, he's just focused on eating, right? I'm just gonna stand over here by the banquet table. You know, I'll fill my plate and I'll kind of let what's happening to just happen around me, right? There's this sit back and observe. I'm gonna be a spectator, not a participant, and you know that seems to be an okay choice to do. You know, she is wearing her green, her emotional strength as well. There's a lot of emotional strength here, so you definitely have the ability to endure what is coming up, this gathering, this visit, whatever it might be, with the family here. You will survive as I choose strength here. But it's a significant day. I don't know if it's July 3rd, you know, with the 3, or it's in the 3rd week. That's a significant day. It could be 3 people because we have the 3 of Cups. It could just be you in the middle, right? It could be you and your partner and your families. And so there could be tension between the 2 in-laws. So that could be that vibe as well. And that's why you have the bravery, the courage to, you know, I'm just gonna let it unfold and let it happen, and we'll make it through. We'll push on through here in July. So it's good in June you worked on your settling your emotions, right? So you're ready to take this on. To close out the messages for July, we have a pause, take it slow, ask for help. Charms here. Kind of like stop, ask for help. You know, maybe there's a project, a DIY project or something you're working on or you're thinking about, but your soul, the angels here, asking you to pause, think about it, ask for help, get support first. Don't do it by yourself. Strong message there. Don't do it by yourself. It might be a project because we do have the Made with Love, which is my passion. It comes from the heart. You know, it's something that's going to connect with you, something that will resonate with you. Maybe you're training for something, right? Maybe there's a marathon coming up and, you know, you don't have to do it alone. And then we have this significant person here, a pretty profound person that has lots of knowledge and wisdom. This is probably the person they want you to ask for help. I'm not going to describe them. You should know already who they are. That's how profound and impactful they are in your life, sort of the type of person that they are in your life. But they're your source of help here. So not sure why there's a push here for you to ask that person for help. Not sure why you wouldn't. Well, look at that. See, you have your helper swooping in, right? I need help flying. I'm stuck flying in a circle. And look how fast the help comes in. And even here, right? He's riding on the back of his horse while he's holding the roof here, whatever he's carrying. I guess he's carrying the stick. I thought this was shingles from a roof. So maybe there is some DIY. Maybe there is DIY in your future here, some kind of project that you're trying to work on or accomplish here in July that they're saying, no, you don't have to do it solo here. You know, make sure you have that person holding the ladder. Or don't try to take on too much as well, right? Pause, because we had the pause, the stop, ask for help. So make sure you're not trying to take on too much in July either. But if you do have a project in mind, there is a watch out. So if you do try to do it by yourself, either you're going to get extremely angry and frustrated through the process with all the fire that I'm seeing here. You know, he's clenching his teeth. Or, you know, just ask for help and, you know, you got your helper here kind of rushing in. Like there's no hesitation. They're ready to go. They're ready to help you out. They probably have the expertise and the knowledge of how to do it nice and easy too, so that you don't get frustrated here. So lean into that if you have the courage, which I do see. Just reach out and get that help. And we'll check in August.